Hello, collective. This is Anne from Artemis Oracle. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe and that everything is going in your favor. So, okay, that first deck I took out was. I took this deck out. It's the revealing the truth, and then I see at the bottom reconcile, but that's not even the complete deck. Okay, I thought it was the Love Oracle deck. Okay, so let's see what comes out for the collective. This message is for whenever you come across it. It could be as you're watching the live stream, if you do join the live stream, or if you watch the replay. So, yeah, reconciliation, reconcile. It's at the bottom. Repair, cure, understanding, concession. Let's see what comes out though. And just so you know, reconciliation isn't necessarily only for love relationships. It can be for friendships, platonic relationships, familial relationships, business relationships. It's basically coming together, coming to some sort of agreement about something, an agreement to continue working on something, to continue being connected to each other, to continue with a project, however that resonates with you. Good evening, Bristol Vapor. I hope you're doing well. Okay, we got run away, get away, keep away, give up. So someone is running away. Someone has their back. This card shows somebody just like on the move, on the go, running. But then you see it's like the hug card came out and it says comfort, care, and closeness. This is giving me like avoidant energy. It could be two things. Like someone is running away from a connection that brings them happiness, especially if there's someone who is used to doom and gloom. You know, you're always used to things being negative, not working out. But then it's like something comes and it's bright, it's happy, it's positive, and it's like, no, I don't want it. It could be that, or it could be someone who is leaving a situation where it was always gloomy and sad and depressing, and they want to go towards comfort, happiness, peace, light. They want to move away from the darkness. Good. I don't know if somebody was in some sort of like a short-term relationship. It says passionate love, thorns short. Someone's name could be Rose too, because the Rose card came out. Passionate love, thorns and short. I mean, it could be the type of connection that someone may be leaving a connection that may have been fun and games, may have been full of passion, but also was a bit finicky, maybe a little bit prickly. Maybe someone was dealing with someone who was prickly. I mean, someone could have been dealing with an avoidant. This card must come out. Money work. Money problems, work, success, fortune. Sometimes avoidance, you know, like it could be about money. It could be someone's dealing with someone who is works with finances, maybe very much focused on finances. But I also see this card as someone who may be having issues with self-worth. You know, to me, this is the self-worth card as well. That's the extra meaning I put in that card. Sometimes, you know, if somebody could be running away from a connection that feels like it's too good to be true because they feel like they're not worthy, which is sad. It's sad, but it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon. The electronicization card, I hate this damn word. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it says data, backup, and digital. So maybe somebody has been very much focused on past situations, because backup makes me think of old files, old pictures, old documents, things that you've had for a long time. I mean, somebody could be in the process of backing up their data, backing up any digital files that they have. Also, some of you may need to do that soon. I don't know if there's going to be a Mercury retrograde anytime soon because that happens quite frequently within a year. So we have a lot of Mercury retrogrades, and Mercury retrogrades tends to mess with like digital stuff, like files, electronics, technology, even communication too. So there may have been something going on with communication as well. Not that I'm saying that, but yeah, I would say some of you, if you feel like if you've been having issues with a specific device that does store data, pictures, files, documents, anything that has digital value, that has value. I will also say back up your bank statements, financial records, anything like that. That's just side message. That may be somebody's message, especially if you're dealing with some issues with identity theft. What else? Any sort of suspicious activity that you may be seeing. I would say if any of you have experienced that or you suspect that, I would say do what you can to protect your finances and also back up your financial records. But it could just be simply somebody needs to back up their records. Now, going back to the reading, because those were side messages, it could be somebody who has been looking at old files, stuff that they've been backing up. Sometimes when you're doing backups, you start to see things that you hadn't realized, and it could have somebody reflecting on on the past, and sometimes the reconcile card came out. Remember I showed this in the beginning of the reading? It was at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Some of you may have dealt, this is coming out as a love reading. Okay. Let me see that here, keys. Hold on a minute. I have to check something. I'll mute it. Now you know I'm in a conference room. You saw the smart board? Hi, everyone. I'm doing good, Priya. I hope you're doing well too. So yeah, I think there could have been some of you that there's someone from the past that may have ran away from a connection with you, that has some sort of issues with their self-worth, their self-esteem. It could have been a type of relationship where it was short term. I mean, there could have been love, there could have been comfort there, but maybe the person got scared and ran away from the connection because of whatever personal issues they were dealing with that have to do with their past. But there could be somebody that's wanting to reconcile, repair, cure, understanding. Maybe this person has undergone some sort of healing process too, and maybe having a better understanding of themselves, why they ran away from a connection, and wanting to return to a place where they felt like they, was a place of comfort, a place that was safe for them. It could be something like that. Now, let me see if I can read this a different way. Because I'm not thinking, this person could have ran away from the connection and then may have been like, oh, like I have to work on my finances. I have to work on my money. I want to build my money up. I want to build a career. I want to focus more so on that than love. It could be something like that too. And maybe the person has experienced some sort of uptick in their life. Because if you look at this, it kind of looks like an angel. It looks like somebody that's like, oh, like they've overcome, they've ascended in some way. And I'm taking the meaning of the card out of it and just looking at the image itself. So maybe that could be why someone is returning, because they feel like they're in a better financial place. And now see the value in the connection too. There could have been some sort of enlightenment. Like I said, I'm looking at the image itself. You see you have a sun here, And then we have this, like, we're just looking at the images, not the words on the card. And it's like somebody has like risen, has ascended, has overcome some sort of, but they're like having some sort of realization too, you know, that may be causing them to backtrack, to want to return to a past connection. Okay. All right, let's see what else comes out. That's one reading. Let me shuffle them. The pet card is at the bottom of the deck. Thank you, Free. Let's see what else comes out. What else does the collective need to know at this time? Clown. The clown card flipped out. Performance, camouflage, laugh at revenge. Some of you could be dealing with a Joker-like energy, trickster type of energy. Hope, wish, expect, desire. That's interesting. I mean, there could be somebody around you who thinks they're funny. Someone who may be a comedian, likes to make jokes. It could be somebody that you don't even take seriously because of how they present themselves, how they... There's a certain word, there's a word I want to use, but I can't remember it right now. It says performance, camouflage, laugh at revenge. So I'm not getting any negative vibes from this clown card, honestly. I'm not getting a negative vibes. You know, we do know people who like to make jokes. They just like to have fun. They're known for a sense of humor. It could be somebody that has a really good sense of humor who may be very funny. Because the next card that we have is hope, wish, expect, desire. And then firm, wide awake, clean, and decisive. So like firm, wide awake, clean, decisive. When I see this card, it reminds me of the Queen of Swords. You know? But right now I'm thinking choice. Somebody is hoping you'll choose them. That's what came to my mind. And like I said, it could be somebody around you who may be a very funny person. Maybe somebody who is just very jovial, has a very good positive energy. Maybe it could be misunderstood sometimes because I'm thinking about the Joker, and the Joker, he was a little crazy, right? You know, when we talk about DC Comics Joker, he was a little crazy, you know, he was, did he kill people? I think he killed people. I don't remember, but he was a little, you know, off his rocker. And, but in a way, there was like some sort of misunderstanding. He had a backstory, you know, he has a reason why he is the way he is, you know, an explanation, right? As to why he is the way he is. So this could be somebody that you may not even take seriously because they're always joking, making jokes, cracking jokes, being silly, maybe not being the way they're supposed to be. You know, like, you know, when you're in certain environments, you're supposed to behave in a certain way. I want to say act in accordance. So this person goes against the grain. There may be someone who stands out because they don't fall in line. They are themselves, and themselves is being someone who's a jokester in a way, and not in a bad way. It's not in a bad way, but it's more so that this person is always wants to lighten the mood, always doesn't want things to be heavy, if that makes sense. But there's a reason, like I think about Robin Williams, he was a comedian, he had his depression, and then, he ended his own life because of those personal struggles that he experienced. So it could be somebody like that who may be around you. It says wish, expect, desire, then firm. Like I'm thinking there could be somebody that is, I need to clarify this. I really do. I feel like I have to clarify because automatically I'm thinking this is kind of like romantic in some way. But if I was to read it like in a professional sense, someone may not be acting in the way they're supposed to, but there could be someone who is, they do have this side to them, but then there's the other side of them where they can be serious because I saw the shadow card. So this could be one aspect of that person that you see, or that can be seen, but there's another side to the person that has yet to be seen. And the side of them that where they are serious, someone you can't take serious, someone who does take life seriously. But like I said, there's some sort of misunderstanding about this person. But this person, I believe, is this clown energy. I don't know who it is. That's why I need the tarot to clarify. Is hoping that something, like a decision is made. It's hoping for some sort of, I feel like it's a choice. Hopes that they are chosen is what came to my mind. But chosen for what? I don't know. So I feel like I had to find out who this clown is. I don't even know what you wrote, person. Strong spiritual eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. It's funny because the clown card, when I was talking about, I don't know who this clown person is. This is so funny. Look at that. The Queen of Cups was at the bottom of the deck. And I was like, I don't know who this person is. I need tarot to clarify. And I look at the bottom of the deck and it was the Queen of Cups. But then when I start shuffling and then it comes out. But then remember earlier I said the Queen of Swords. This gives me the Queen of Swords energy. The Queen of Swords came out here with this card. Let's see. So it could be, there could be two energies here. Or it could just be one person, the clown. I don't know if the clown is the water sign energy, but it could just be one person, two aspects. This person can be very loving, carefree, emotional. I even said someone who may be, I mentioned Robin Williams. So someone who may experience depression at times, always put up that happy, jovial, jokester front, but has internal struggles, a side of them that you haven't seen before, right? So, and then Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, someone who is very intelligent, logical, factual, maybe a detached, so this is like two different energies. Someone who is loving and caring, and then someone who can come off as emotionally detached. So that could be who this clown energy is. They could be any water sign or any earth sign, or it's just two aspects of them. Let's see. Yeah, look, I was about to start shuffling and look what I see in the bottom of the deck. 5 of Cups. And 5 of Cups is about someone who's experienced some sort of displeasure, distaste, who is basically sulking because of some sort of disappointment. Crying over spilt milk is the common phrase used to explain what the 5 of Cups is. And crying over spilt milk is like crying over something that has already happened that you can't take back, that cannot be fixed, but you can move on from. So someone may be experiencing something like that, and they're hoping. This is like depression energy. Somebody's depressed about the past. This is who this clown energy is. Someone who may like has two sides to them. One side where they're like carefree, and I did see the full card underneath. It was under the Five of Cups. Someone who may come off as being carefree, but there's someone who can be emotionally detached. You know, it could be any air sign or water sign energy, but it's starting to look more water sign heavy because of the Five of Cups and the Queen of Cups coming out to describe this person. But it doesn't have to be that specific sign. So let's talk about that. What is the hope? What is the clown's hope? What is the clown's hope? Magician, wish, something that they may have been wanting, manifesting, a wish to come true. Came out with the hope card. Maybe they're, you know, I see a lot of butterflies in this magician card, and that indicates someone who has, what you call it? Hi, Dana, how are you? So the magician is someone who has all the tools in the trade, but butterflies also indicate some sort of transformation, a deep spiritual transformation. Someone can be hoping that some sort of decision is made, because I keep going back to the firm card, meaning decision, right? So someone's hoping and wishing and praying and has been manifesting for some sort of change, some sort of transformation. Well, what does this have to do with? What is the wish? And we got Gemini now on the table. What is this? What is the clown's hope or wish? And the clown could be a feminine or masculine energy, because it shows up masculine energy, but then we have two feminine court cards coming out, and even the magician is depicted as a feminine energy. So the clown could be a feminine energy. Tell me about the clown's hope, wish, expectation, desires. It's definitely about peace. I saw the Knight of Swords in reverse. Wanting things to slow down. Wanting something to slow down. So the Knight of Swords came out in the reverse. Usually the Knight of Swords is someone who has very quick thoughts, quick ideas that come out of nowhere, but it could be also someone who takes some sort of impulsive action because of an idea that they get, you know. It could be someone who is also having racing thoughts. But then for swords, it's like maybe this person is trying to manifest a mental peace. Maybe I feel like I don't think this is romantic at all. I feel like that they just want things to go back to the way they were before. So this person could be experiencing something right now that is causing them a lot of stress. That's causing them to feel like, I want to say they feel out of control, but they want more control in their life. They want to have more control over their thoughts, their ideas. They want the racing thoughts, whatever thoughts they're having, to stop. And I'm hoping this person, I did mention depression and I did mention Robin Williams. So hopefully this person isn't having a specific type of ideation right now, you know. If you are, and I feel like I have to stop this reading, I'm hoping that I don't know if some of you, this could be somebody around you that may not be in the best mental health space right now, and maybe feeling out of control, maybe feel like life's out of control, like they have no control over their life, and maybe having certain thoughts about how they can stop. I can't say how they can end it all. So because I feel like somebody wants to go back to how things were before, where things were easier, where things were more peaceful, where they were maybe maybe not as stressed or overwhelmed as they may be feeling, where they feel like they don't have to put up this happy front. I feel like somebody's pretending that they're happy, but when they're deeply depressed. Somebody could be deeply depressed. So if this resonates with you, if you know somebody like that, I would suggest that you go check on this person, please. Make sure that they're okay, and also help them, direct them towards any resources they may need, because it's like what I'm getting is somebody who's really sad and may want it all to end. And I can't say, apparently, because there's a lot of what do they call it, like censorship, but someone is feeling like hurting themselves, ending it all. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. I would suggest that you reach out to whoever you suspect this. If this is you, there's hotlines that you can call just so you can have somebody you can talk to. I believe the number in the United States is 988. There are people there that are trained to offer support, even help get you, or refer. I don't know if they refer, but they could help you get, maybe they do, I'm not sure. They may help you with resources or tell you what resources will be available to you. Let me see. So somebody may be undergoing some sort of personal crisis. It could definitely, I'm getting mental health crisis. Someone needs help. Let's see. It's 988. It's Lifeline. It says it's a crisis, I'm going to say it, suicide crisis hotline that understands that life challenges can sometimes be difficult, whether you're facing mental health struggles, emotional distress, alcohol or drug use concerns, or just need someone to talk to. Our caring counselors are here for you. You are not alone. So if you know someone like this, or this could be you, you could call them, you could text them. They even do chats. And if anyone who's hard of hearing or is deaf, there's also services available. They're also able to help. And the website is 988lifeline.org. So you can also look at how it gives you tips on how you can help someone if you're concerned about their mental health, their safety. But I feel like this is what I'm getting from the reading, This reading took a turn. But I feel like if this person doesn't feel alone, if they know that they have support, that they have someone they could talk to, that will listen to them and not judge them, because I saw the Three of Pentacles, and that's about collaboration, teamwork. But it's just, having someone that they could talk to, someone who can support them during a difficult time, whatever they may be going through. And it may be something that you don't even know, but if you notice anybody has started to withdraw or is acting extra jovial, more so like if you're usually used to this person being depressed and then now they're starting to seem more happier, or just like they got a burst of energy, that's definitely a sign for you to definitely reach out to them and talk to them. Because from my understanding, when people have decided to do something, have made the firm decision to end something, they usually become more optimistic or positive. But not because they're going to continue their life. It's because they've already chosen to end it and they're at peace with that. But I don't know why I'm just saying, like, if anybody, I would say, if this resonates with anybody, I don't think I even need to continue on with this tarot with this. If this resonates with anybody, if you see someone who's been depressed, has always been showing up as depressed, but then all of a sudden happy, jovial and stuff, check in on them. And I could be completely wrong, but it's better to be safe than sorry, especially if you don't want to be in a position where, like you hear this reading and then later on you find out something and you're like, wow, I kind of was warned about this, or this is information you could share with somebody else, that may be experiencing this on their side, like with their family or friend or whatever. So it's not going to resonate with everybody, but I feel like this is for somebody that if you just notice somebody who's typically depressed and starts to act extra jovial, extra jokey, happy, more positive than they've ever been, just check in on them, see what's going on with them. Like, oh, I notice you're feeling different, or you've been acting differently. Is everything okay with you? Anything like that, just to open up some dialogue, but not where you cause the person to kind of draw back to but just to, you know, gauge if they're actually okay, or if they've already decided to do something. But I would say trust your intuition, especially if this is someone who's close to you. But if it's you, I would say, please, there are resources available. I know people have the choice. People have the freedom of choice to do what they feel is right for them. But I feel like before anyone makes that final decision, they should at least try to get professional help from a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a therapist, a social worker, any mental health professional, before you make a decisive action. You take any decisive action, something that you cannot take back. But this could be related to somebody outside of you, if it's not you that's feeling this way. So I hope no one is in that mind frame. But reality is, the way the world is, there's a lot of people who are in that mind frame, who are depressed, who are feeling hopeless, and making some sort of decision to end something, right, is bringing them a sense of hope, because in their mind, it may seem like, okay, my suffering is going to end, whatever suffering they're experiencing. But, I'm not going to be selfish and say, oh, well, what about the people that you leave behind? Because sometimes people don't have anybody that they're leaving behind. It's just them. So, like I said, if anybody's feeling this way, if you suspect someone's feeling this way, I suggest that you let them know that they're not alone, that there's help out there for them. With the Suicide and Crisis Hotline, which is 988. It says you could call and you could text. So I'm going to respectfully move away from that energy. But I hope that someone gets the help that they need. Before they make any final decisions. Okay. Let me see what time it is. That reading was different. Let me see. Let me see. What else should I do? Okay, so that reading was, it was kind of like a drag. So I have my Listen Bitch Oracle deck. Maybe somebody. Oh yeah. I don't like. Whew. Okay. You know what? Okay, we're gonna go into the Listen Witch Oracle deck. See what messages or affirmation you need to hear at this time. There's no such thing as the right time. Trust yourself and do it. Wow, these fucking cards have perfect timing. Yeah, do it. Just do it. Go get help. If someone is feeling like they need help, they need support, just do it. It doesn't hurt, to get advice, to get guidance, counsel, or just someone that will listen to you if you're going through a difficult time. Because I know it's hard. Financially, people are having just economical issues that people are experiencing, housing issues. issues with family and friends, within their relationships and stuff, it doesn't hurt to call 988 and see what kind of support or guidance you get. All right, you're allowed to fail. Learn from it, dust yourself off, and fuck shit up. You know? Some people, okay, in certain cultures, certain countries, failure is not acceptable. And I'm thinking Japanese. They have this thing that they do, and it's an honorable way of doing it. But the thing is, like, sometimes failure is normal. Failing is normal. That doesn't mean you have to end your life. It doesn't mean you have to, like, really shit on yourself over a failure. I think we need to learn how to be more compassionate with ourselves. Because if nobody else is gonna be compassionate with us, we have to do that for ourselves. We have to be that for ourselves. So there's no such thing as the right time. Trust yourself and do it. So outside of, like, if you need to help, 988, trust yourself. Trust me, call 988 if you need someone to talk to, please. So there's no such thing as the right time. Trust yourself and do it. So some of you may be wanting to do something. This is so fucking normal, but it's such a freaking, it's kind of sad too, because when is it going to be the right time? Some of you, there's something that you want to do. There could be certain blockages that you may have, but, like, the first thing I think about is if some of you want to have, like, a YouTube channel. It's so easy to have a YouTube channel. You have the internet already because you're watching me, right? Most people watch on their phone or a tablet. Most tablets have a camera and microphone. You could film a video. You could be on camera. You could do a video. There's nothing stopping you. Only you're getting in your own way. And I'm using YouTube as an easy example. There may be certain goals that people have but everything starts off with one single step. Start with one step, then move forward. Take every little step builds up to the ultimate goal, right? It's not everything you try to do everything all at once, and then no, it's little by little. You have to see progression. So if there's something that you want to do, stop giving yourself that lame ass excuse that, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Because when is it going to be the right time? You have to make the time. If this is something that you really want to do, whatever it is, I don't know, because everybody's different. Different people have different goals, different expectations, different aspirations, different objectives even. But stop making that lame excuse about it not being the right time. You have to make the time for it. If you really want something, you will make the time for it. Like they say, if a guy wanted to, that he would, period. If you really wanted to, then you would, period. Okay? Now, listen, witch, you're allowed to fail, learn from it, dust yourself off, and fuck shit up. Like, I remember saying this sign somewhere. It says, failure is the first attempt in learning. FAIL, first attempt in learning. If you fail at something, it's because you're still learning it. When you actually become an expert at something, it's because you've been doing it, practicing it for a long time, whatever it is, like playing the piano, learning an instrument, penmanship, drawing, composing music. That takes time, that takes effort. It takes commitment too. If you really wanted to, you would. All right. And it's okay if you fail, because you learn what works, what doesn't work, what you can do differently, and what will you do again? What will you not do? What would you do the next time you try? And don't get so weighed down by your worries that you forget to live. It's important that you, like, even though we have these, like, different stressors in our lives, and like I said, we're all different. Some of us, it could be financial. For others, it could be more like family or interpersonal relationships. It could be with career. It could be even mental health. But the thing is, it's like you still have to, if, like I said, if you really wanted to, you would. If there's something that you want to do, if there's something that you want to experience, there's something that you want to try, you have to make the time to do it. But don't allow any of the burdens that you experience to be a hindrance. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's all based on whether you're, whatever may be weighing you down, is it something that you can change, or is it something that is beyond your control? Anything beyond your control, you have to release, let go, because there's nothing you can do, say to change something, right? But when it's something that's for your responsibility and it's something that you have the power to change, then that's what you work on. Anything that you can't change, you have to accept and move on from, you know? Accept and move on. Easier said than done, I know. But I think we need to understand this. I'm still learning too. But make time to do the things that you enjoy doing, especially if there's something that you want to try, you know, something that you feel like is tied to your purpose and will help you feel like you're living a life with purpose, where you're feeling fulfilled, you know. And don't be afraid to fail. You know, it's so funny. And, you know, like babies, when they learn to walk, do we get mad at them when they fall? And after they take the first steps, do we get mad at them? Do we scream at them? Do we call them losers when they do that? Why do we do that to us when it's our first time doing something? Is that fair? When we're learning something new, we're essentially like those little babies learning to walk. So when we're trying and learning something new, attempting something new, we're that little baby that's learning, you know, taking our first steps with something. And when we fall, the last thing we need to do to ourselves is scream at ourselves and start, oh, you're a loser. Why even bother doing that? We don't do that to babies. Why do we do that to us? We shouldn't be doing that to ourselves, you know? And look, I like this one. You can either worry or believe in yourself. Guess which one feels better? Worry is low vibrational. It's stressful. It gives you grays. It gives you wrinkles. It makes you depressed, you know? But if you believe in yourself, it's where you have hope, you know, it gives you motivation. You have more faith. You may even take some risks, calculated risks, hopefully safe risks that don't harm you in any way. But it motivates you, and it's encouraging too, especially when you believe in yourself. It's wonderful to have people believe in you, but to also put the cherry on top of you believing in yourself is just like you're gonna be like limitless in some way, you know. But it's just making sure you do the things you want to do. Take the time to do the things you want to do. Take the time to enjoy life for whatever it is. Some of you may even need to take time off, time away, to take a break, detach, isolate yourself. But it's more for you to get in touch with yourself, but also make time to do the thing things that you would like to do. I just picked this card up. It's the Eight of Swords. It was right on top, and it was just like about to fall off the stack. And I was like curious about what card this is, and it's the Eight of Swords. This is about being trapped in your mind, you know? Whatever thoughts, whatever internal dialogue that you're having with yourself that's stopping you, is limiting you, you need to ignore it, you know? Ignore it. Because this is what's not allowing you to live. This is what's not allowing you to move forward and take some sort of action, to take a chance to try something new. And because some of you, it may be a fear of failure, and that's normal. Like I said, like babies, when they start to learn how to walk, they constantly falling. They fall. But nobody calls them a loser. So if you fail and you keep trying and you keep fucking shit up, fuck shit up. That's how you learn, you know? But eventually you will get better at it, you know? So don't let the fear of failure, or even the fear of how other people may judge you, because this is like tying back to the baby thing. But I hate this. I fucking hate this idea. And I know it's time for me to leave, but I just really I want you to hear this. I don't think it's fair that all of us, in whatever age we're in, we're expected to know everything. That whenever we do something, that we're supposed to be good at it, or that we should know better. No, how are we going to know better if we never experienced something? I think it's unfair for people to put this expectation that we're supposed to be a certain way just because of our age. I don't think that's fair to us, because a lot of us are still in the process of learning and experiencing things that we never experienced before. So how are we supposed to know better? Someone could go through the same thing. We could see what everybody else goes through because they did the same thing as us, but the result is not the same and the impact isn't the same because we have our own personal issues, our own personal belief systems, our personal traumas, the way we even think about ourselves, to look at ourselves. Not everybody sees themselves or experiences things in the same way, so for people to expect us to be older or in our 30s and 40s and 50s or whatever age group you're in, and you should know better. No, how the fuck are you gonna know better if you never experienced it before? We're still learning. If you think about how long humans have existed on Earth, we're babies in comparison. Even how old this Earth is, how old this galaxy is, we are still babies. We are still learning. So I think that we should be more compassionate with ourselves and even compassionate with other people. Because if we see people all the time trying new things and, are we like calling them losers, or are we like, yeah, that's so cool. It's so cool that you tried that. And we want that in return. So if you are that type of person that's like dogging on people who try new things and who fail and they show the failure and you're like bragging on them, I was like, okay, then is that how you want people to treat you too? When you're trying something new and different that you've never done before and then you most likely will mess up on? Because we're not always going to get everything right. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. So that's where the compassion needs to come in. Whenever you're trying something new, think of yourself as that baby that's learning how to walk. Have that compassion for yourself, and have people around you who are compassionate and supportive of you. Just as I'm hoping you will be to them, so I just want to end the reading with that. I'm going to get off my soapbox or my tarot oracle card box, and I'll see you in the next live stream. So hopefully I might be able to go live after 5 p.m. today. I might answer some yes or no questions, do some love readings or whatever other readings I feel like doing. Maybe even bring these listen bitch cards out again and clarify, because I did a really good reading a couple of live streams ago. I think it was on Monday, the Monday's evening live stream. Whew, that was a really good reading. So I thank you all for liking, and if you want your yes or no question answered, you have to be a subscriber. So I suggest you subscribe now, because I'm going to put a 20-minute subscriber mode on. So that means if you go on live and then you decide to subscribe, you're going to have to wait 20 minutes before you can put anything in the chat. So I'm just giving you a heads up. So I really appreciate you all for joining this live stream, for communicating with me, Dana, Strong Spiritual Eyes, Bristol Vapor, and Malik. Hi, Malika. How are you? I'm sorry, I just saw your message. So I hope everybody has a good day, and I hope to see you later on today. If not, I hope everyone has a good one. Take care, everyone. Bye.